If you watch my comedy videos on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or TikTok, I make it seem like I'm always broke, or the spoiled son of a rich family. And in my long videos, I'm a lot more serious. I talk about personal finance, investments, and credit cards. So what am I? Am I broke or living the dream? Well, I live in Vancouver. Unless you're a multi-millionaire, you're broke. Which means, in my own definition, I'm technically broke. Cause, you know, Vancouver's completely overpriced. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about my entire investment portfolio. At least a majority of it. Cause see, I didn't want to review my portfolio in the past cause, well, my friends and family would find out and they would know my financial situation, which I wasn't too comfortable with. But I think it's important for me to show you guys what stocks I invest in, given I talk about Canadian finance. So here's the thing, I have investments all over the place in multiple accounts. For example, I have investments inside my own Wealthsimple and Questrade account, and also investments inside my significant other's Wealthsimple and Questrade, and a crypto exchange and a crypto wallet. So it's all over the place. Which is why I like to centralize all my investments, or most of it, inside an app that shows me everything. So I use an app called Delta Investment Tracker. I mean, you might have heard of it. It's got 4.4 stars on Google Play Store. So pretty decent reviews. Essentially, this app allows me to centralize all my investments like ETFs, stocks, and crypto. So basically allows me to just open up my app and see my entire investment portfolio and its daily changes without having to open different brokerage accounts. And it just makes it so much easier for me to view my entire portfolio because I have investments all over the place. Now obviously this is just a tracker. You can't actually use this app to buy assets. By the way, this video is not sponsored. Yeah, they did send me pro membership for this app, but again, I can be as honest as possible with this app. And you know me, if you see my videos, I'm always honest with product reviews. And plus, I'm going to be showing you my investment portfolio as I'm showing you this app. So when you log in, you have 5 tabs at the bottom of this app. First is just your portfolio overview. I mean, you can hide and unhide your portfolio numbers. I mean, you just click the numbers. Oops. Alright, we're just gonna ignore that happened. The second tab, we have the watch list of the stocks that you want to follow. Of course, this could be other assets too, like crypto or NFTs. The middle tab is your portfolio spread. You can basically get the details of any asset classes. So for example, stocks, you click into it, you can see the quantities, gains, or losses in that particular stock. That's simple enough, and it is. Fourth tab, we have the portfolio insights. Unfortunately, most of these functions under this tab seems to be only available for those with pro membership. And then on the last tab, you have the notifications. And I really like this tab because it shows you the price changes of your stocks and investments throughout the day. And these notifications pop out on your phone too. Some people like that, some people don't. I personally do because it gives me the latest price change information about the stock, which allows me to make a split-second decision on what to do with the stock. 99.999% of the time, it's nothing because I hold these stocks for the long term. But the notification will go as far as to tell you why the stock went up and down that day. And it's not just stocks, it's other assets too, like crypto. For example, Dogecoin goes up by 30% in value in like 30 seconds. It will automatically tell you that. And a couple hours later, it will give you a notification that Elon Musk accidentally farted on his keyboard and accidentally tweeted Doge. And that's why Dogecoin increased by 30% in like 30 seconds a couple hours ago. So for me, I like the fact that it always gives me the latest news on the assets that's on my watch list. Now, you can connect your brokerages and your wallets to Delta Investment Tracker, but I don't do that. I would rather just type my assets and transactions in, cause I don't like the fact that I'm connecting my brokerage account to this app. Prefer not to risk data leakage. So if you want to add an investment into this app, it's super simple. You literally go to the third tab and click the plus sign. For me, as I said, I always go with manual transaction. As I said before, there's other ways like connecting your exchange to this app, but I'm not going to do that. And here you have many different types of assets. Now remember, if you're typing in Canadian assets like ETFs or stocks, you have to type in .to at the end of your sticker symbol to populate. So here I just type in the price in which I bought the stock. For additional options, you know, bought via, for me it's either Wealthsimple or Questrade. Notes, I just put in which account. So TFSA or RSP. It's actually quite user-friendly. Okay, now that I've done a brief introduction about the app, it's time for what you've been waiting for. My investment portfolio reveal. Again, this is across all my brokerage accounts. This doesn't include my GICs or my savings account, which is another huge chunk of my net worth. Also doesn't include assets under Wealthsimple Robo Investments. I mean, I put a couple $1,000s in Wealthsimple's Robo Investing a couple months ago. You can check out the video over here. But obviously, Delta Investment Tracker can't track robo investing. Alright, let's get into it. And you'll see that a majority of my big wins are from semiconductors. And if you don't know what semiconductors are, they're essentially small materials that all electronics need. And I said it before, I'm a big semiconductor fan. And I made a video about it a couple months ago, so check it out. Almost all electronics need semiconductors. And by far my biggest winner is Nvidia. I bought it a year and a half ago in 2022 when it was only $138 per share. Essentially, I got 16 shares and just held. Yeah, I probably should have bought more in the past year and a half, but it's like over $900 per share now. I think I'm good. Other large winners include TSM or Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company or AMD, all of which are in the semiconductor industry. What's funny is that a lot of my biggest losers are actually in the Canadian stocks. Canadian stocks haven't been doing too hot lately. For the past 20 years or so, the US market outperformed the Canadian market. And it shows in the individual Canadian company stock prices as well. Down over $700 on Transcontinental, another couple $100s on Canadian Tire, my REITs aren't doing too hot, and my first 95% loss on a stock in my life. Good food. I made a video about it a couple months ago recounting all the mistakes that I made when I was buying this stock, so check it out. Now let's take a look at my funds. I mean, I almost always buy index funds because they almost always do well in the long term. So I got the S&P 500 and Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and the Canadian TSX index. And going on, some Canadian tech ETFs, emerging markets, developed markets, and XDIV, my favorite dividend ETF in Canada, which holds about 20 of the best dividend stocks in Canada. And the MER ratio is only 0.1%. And my crypto, which doesn't tell the full story over here because I actually lost money on crypto. And yes, I was a victim of the Celsius bankruptcy. Probably lost a couple $100s on crypto because of the Celsius bankruptcy. I mean, I was able to retrieve some of it back, maybe like 30% of my crypto back. So it was a slightly expensive lesson for me, cause crypto really isn't centralized or controlled. Shady stuff is bound to happen.
And it's gone. Poof.
So I don't invest in crypto much, and if I do, I put it in my personal wallet so that I know that my crypto is safe. So that puts my investment portfolio at about 175,000 Canadian dollars. That number goes up and down by about $1,000 to $2,000 a day. And as you can see, the majority of my wins are either in index ETFs or semiconductors. Actually, that's like all of my wins. That's $30,000 in profit right there. Now, my investment strategy going forward is pretty simple. Invest at least half of my portfolio into index ETFs. And these are going to be my core investments, as those are considered safer investments for the long term and historically generate a good annual return. As for individual stocks, I'm probably going to slowly start to steer away from Canadian assets. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing much growth potential on the Canadian side. I'm seeing a lot more potential on AI, technology, or semiconductors. So I'm going to focus more on that. So going forward, maybe once a month, I'll do portfolio updates as well as the assets that I bought and sold throughout the month. So if you want to join me on my investment journey and curious to see how well or poorly I do, and want to learn about personal finance or Canadian credit cards, feel free to subscribe. This channel is growing super fast, and I hope that you can be a part of this journey. As always, I make personal finance tips for Canadians in my long-form content and financial comedy in my shorts. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time.